I'm going to go right to this gentleman right here at the end of the...
Just asking to repeat the question.
Okay, I will. Sure will. Yeah.
I fully intend on buying the book. Can you give us an idea, a little prelude to what your plans are to defeat the ideology?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things is that, and I start with this, and this really goes after being able to attack the ideology, discredit the ideology. I mean, we still have to do some military operations and the kinds of things that we're doing, but this doesn't mean, you know, more boots on the ground, because I always get asked that question. One of the things that I call for in the book is the creation of a new 21st century alliance. Rabbi Hausman mentioned President al-Sisi of Egypt. President al-Sisi is a good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time. He and I were actually, we were colleagues when I was the senior intelligence officer at U.S. Central Command down in Tampa. We had responsibility for East Africa, the Middle East, and Central Asia. And al-Sisi was the head of intelligence at that time in the Egyptian military. So he and I became friends, actually. And what I felt like we should have done was we should have embraced him when he gave his great intellectually courageous speech at the Al-Azhar Mosque at the end of about a year and a half ago, beginning of 2015, end of 2014. And Al-Azhar Mosque, for people that don't know, it's kind of like the analogy, it's sort of like the Vatican of the Muslim world. And first time a Muslim leader of a country ever spoke in front of that other than an imam or a cleric. So he stood there and we did not embrace him. We should have embraced him. One of the things that I call for is a new 21st century alliance, and principally putting the burden on the backs of the Arab world. And al-Sisi was calling for that. So there's some steps that we're trying to take right now, actually in the political process, to try to get this idea in place. It will exist. It will exist. Trust me, it will exist, because we have to, the Arab world has to take more responsibility for what's happening. But in order to get there, they're going to need U.S. leadership. But the idea of discrediting the ideology, we spent 40 years discrediting the ideology of communism. 40 years. I mean, I remember as a kid talking, you know, about communists, right, in school and what it meant and what we had to do as a kid growing up. We can't talk about radical Islamism in our school system. I mean, you'd be thrown out, you'd be suspended, you'd be sent home. And then you as parents, with your kids, people would be, you know, wondering about you. You'd be called names. We can't have that. We are facing another ism, just like we face Nazism and fascism and imperialism and communism. This is Islamism, and it is a vicious cancer inside the body of 1.7 billion people on this planet, and it has to be excised. And we should not fear this idea.
لكم على المشاهدة، وإذا أعجبكم الفيديو اشتركوا إذا لم تكونوا مشتركين بعد، وقوموا بوضع إعجاب على الفيديو ورنوا الجرس، ولا تنسونا من صالح الدعاء. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.